what did you take from being on tour with Snoop Dogg?
Snoop was one of the most genuine people you will ever meet. I think out of all the things that I learned from him, it was how to treat people. Like Snoop is one of the most respectful men in this industry you'll ever meet. Even, it's funny because in the 90s, he probably wasn't that.
Giving jokes. Doggy style.
Yeah.
Yo, this is Leo Black exclusively at Dame Dash Studios, and this is Leo Black Show.
I know you from LA, LA native.
I
And,
am.
a lot of people may not know that she is a LA native, a unicorn, Angelino.
Very rare nowadays.
Exactly. Speaking of All Money In, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. I mean, a lot of sentimental value to LA, the culture in general. Legend in my eyes.
Yes.
Very, very inspired by what he did and what he's continued to do. Definitely respect the movement. How did Nipsey Hussle inspire you, Lex Lu?
It's a crazy thing because my boyfriend actually was working with him closely. They went on tour. He was doing his sound and he was his engineer for the last year and a half, almost 2 years. So I got to see like a sneak peek into the background on how he hustled and how he worked and like how he wanted certain things to be, as far as his music and how he wanted to be perceived. And, I just really appreciated his grind. I appreciated what he stood for. I appreciated that he didn't falter on that. You can go back years and it's like this is, everything he believed in, he's been believing in that, and then not only that, but he was bringing a lot of things into fruition, buying blocks up and putting money into the inner cities, into LA. And, he inspired me, to be who I am. Not like me, right? Like he he didn't make me who I am, but I'm just saying like he's very like unapologetically himself, and that's very inspiring.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, definitely contributed to my style, Nipsey Hussle. And you mentioned buying back the block. You've been from LA and knowing about the gang culture, and the politics of it. How important it is to give back to your community where you're from in LA?
Well, I've grew up all over LA, so I claim a lot of different parts of it. But I feel like it's really important to understand LA first. A lot of people come here and they have like different perceptions on how it is, and it's dirty, and there's bums, and there's this, and there's fake people, and there's that. And it's really it's a melting pot of a lot of different things. So first, to change LA or to make LA better, I feel like you have to understand it. And so, um, for me, it's super important to give back to our community because a lot of people come to LA and use it up and then leave.
That's facts.
So the people that are actually from here, we see it happen. I've seen it happen since I was young in this industry. So I think it's important to remember that there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of art, there's a lot of substance here in LA, and not just in Hollywood, not just in where people usually hang around. It's there's if you go into LA, East LA, South LA, there's a lot of culture, and I think that even just giving back to the culture and teaching the youth how to grow from where they came from, I think that is enough. Like I shout out 1500 Sound Academy because like they literally built a whole facility in the hood to teach people how to be in the industry, how to create, and I think it's amazing. So it's super important.
Yo, shout out 1500 or nothing, man. Those guys have been grinding for a while, very
Forever.
talented. The studio is right in Inglewood, correct
Yep,
me if
it
I'm
is.
wrong. And it is just amazing place to be, very inspirational, very creative for all types of acts, not only musicians, but if you're doing marketing, if you're on the social media side, if you're doing press, if you're just in the entertainment in general business, you don't only have to be a musician. You can be in sports, you can be an athlete, actor, comedian, and you can take something by visiting their facility, 1500 or nothing. So shout out them boys
Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
girls.
And girls, yes.
That's big facts. So I want to know more about Lex Love. You know, of course, you grew up in the city, grew up in L.A. I mean, we talked about a little bit about the people who inspired you, and just your path. You know, your path in music. Who inspired your path in music from the beginning, and what made you take the path that you took to get where you're at now? And how did it come about?
Well, growing up, I listened to all different kinds of music, so I was inspired by just everything, just like the way that music makes you feel. So I started in the entertainment industry young. I was a dancer. So I was a professional dancer, went all over the world, toured, did a whole bunch of stuff, danced for a lot of different artists, and it was amazing. It was like an amazing experience. And I was in girl groups and like always writing my own music. And like honestly, it was like when I was really young, it was being on tour with like Snoop Dogg and like just like appreciating rap so much more. And that's when I really started writing, like writing hella raps. Like one of the first songs I ever did was um, with a drummer that was on Snoop. Like I did a feature for him, and like I just used to want to just rap, like just write hella hard raps. And like I was like, okay, you're not that hard, Lex. You're from the valley, so you gotta chill out. And that's when you like learn to write songs and not just write like, um, bars. But anyway, I transitioned from dancing into music because I just felt like there was so much more passion that I had for music than dancing. Like I didn't want to dance for anybody else. I kind of wanted to dance for myself if I was gonna still dance because I did everything I wanted to as a dancer. So I transitioned into a group called Rebel City. It was pretty dope. It was fun. We did some great shows. Then when I started to go solo, I just realized I had like a voice and I wanted to talk about different things than what I was talking about in my groups and so I just started writing and I was picked up by an engineer that I met on the road when I was like working for Nikki, and he taught me the ropes of it, like how to like create music, how to record yourself, write a song, network. Shout out Divine Evans. He was like one of my first mentors in the music business, and I haven't looked back since. Like I've been rapping and making music for the last 4 years, a little
Dope.
plus.
That's dope. Can
Eh,
can we rewind just a little bit though back to
mhm.
Snoop Dogg because
Mhm.
he's like one of the last OGs we got
Oh
left.
yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say Nipsey reminded them of Snoop Dogg.
Mhm.
You know, it was still here. And what did you take from being on tour with Snoop Dogg?
Snoop is one of the most genuine people you will ever meet. I think out of all the things that I learned from him, it was how to treat people. Like Snoop is one of the most respectful men in this industry you'll ever meet. Even it's funny because in the '90s he probably wasn't that.
Gin and juice, doggy style.
Yeah, but and I think anybody who has met him can say that like he is one of the nicest, most respectful people in this industry, and he treats everyone he meets like they're fucking superstars. You know what I mean? No matter what. And it's just something that I really did learn from him. Like how to treat people. It'll take you so much further. That's why his career has been forever. You know what I mean? Because people
That's
love and
facts.
appreciate him. And he's honest. So like that's definitely one of the biggest things I learned from him. He's just a nice person, and it's so rare. It's so rare to meet nice people in this industry that actually, you know, that are superstars and that can still treat other people like people.
That's facts. Hey, shout out Snoop Dogg. I see you doing your thing with Martha Stewart, man. Shout you out, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, so I mean, of course, your style is dope. I mean, you got the whole street gear thing going on. You got the blonde hair. Like, what contributed to your style?
uh, I don't know. It's just something that's evolved. I mean, I've had my hair like this for the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, I guess it's just what makes me comfortable. I like being comfortable. I like being different. I like, you know, changing up my swag every other day. So some days I might look like one thing, and the next couple days I might be somebody else. Like I'm a lot of different people in one, and so like my style changes up depending.
Nice, nice. That's why I mean, you got the whole Erica Badu kind of mixed with SZA a little bit. You know, and you got the blonde hair going crazy, but you rapping like Megan Thee Stallion. You know, a lot of things, very
Childhood.
diverse. Can we talk about your nationality a little bit? You know the culture that you come from, religion, race, all that.
Okay, so I am half Mexican, half black. I grew up with more of my Mexican side, so my mom, shout out mom. Um, and yeah, culture-wise, I mean, I was raised around so many different races and people, and um, my family always taught me to be open with who I am and be free. I mean, my mom gave me a lot of freedom from a young age to kind of be myself and be independent. And like I would have to say that I don't I grew up as a Christian. Um, Now I just believe in a higher power, and my family is just chill. Like we didn't have a lot of like rules or like when you ask about my culture, it's difficult because I didn't grow up in like a Spanish culture, but my family is Spanish. Like my mom doesn't speak Spanish, so we're very like Americanized, and like I said, she just kind of had this whole like be free type attitude, and that's how she raised us. My mom worked 3 jobs, so like she wasn't always right there. I had like my older sister to like really guide me, but like I grew up to just like be very independent and to be myself unapologetically. So
Yo, so Lex Lu, I'm pretty sure you got a lot of fans from being on the four. I mean, you had hosts like Diddy, DJ Khaled on the four. How was that experience? What was it like?
it was a whirlwind. It was so quick, and it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. At the time that I got the call for the show, I was in a place with like my music and just myself, and not being sure about like if I was good enough, if I wanted to do this, thing, be an artist. And I was super unsure. I was dropping music, and I just wasn't sure where I was. So when I got the call for the four, I was like, hey, look, this might be something cool to try out. Sent all my videos in, did all the interviews, and I still didn't actually think that it was gonna be something real, until they surprised us and said like, you were one of the first four. And it was like my whole world was just like whoa, 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 whoa. And it was like, for me, it was like almost like a confirmation, like, okay, like, bitch, keep going. Like you're
Exactly,
like, don't,
exactly.
like, right when you're like about to give up, this opportunity comes.
Mm,
And it's a blessing. And
of course.
I learned so much about myself in that small amount of time. What kind of pressure I could be under and take, how to move quickly, how to work with people I've never, would have thought I'd be around. And just the whole experience was amazing. And then, like I said, that confirmation was like the best thing. And I knew whether I went all the way to the end or was out the first episode, I knew that I was good enough, and I am good enough to compete in this industry. And it
That's
was
facts.
like I said, that was like the best for me. And then just like gaining new fans and having people see me for who I am, it was a blessing, man. It was amazing.
That's facts. Can we backtrack a little bit of what it was like being an up and coming artist and getting that confirmation of like you're going to be on a show with sold out arenas, on huge stages,
Mhm.
celebrities seeing you perform. I mean, for someone who's out there who's an upcoming artist who wants to be on a show like the Four, where did they start? Like how did it happen?
For me, I think it was like a word of mouth situation for me. I think someone put my name in, because I'm from LA, so I've been, like, I went when I first started making my music. I went through like the rounds of all like the underground hip hop spots. Like I've performed at like pretty much every venue in LA. Um, I've rapped in front of 3 people for shows, and then I've rapped in front of like people with like 1,000 people. So, um, I think that the best advice I can give someone that's starting their career, that's like starting to, make that, have that movement in what they, in the direction they want to move in, just try to stay consistent. Like try to be consistent, and then try to outdo yourself, because we get so stuck, I feel like, trying to do one thing or be one thing, like we don't ever evolve, like, or we don't think that we need to evolve. So like as an artist, like keep creating, keep evolving, keep, like bettering yourself, keep challenging yourself, because that's going to keep that fire in you alive, to keep pushing, keep going, because it's something new every day. It's something new that you want to do. It's a different vibe that you want to want to create. Like, keep moving, keep doing it. Don't stop. You know?
Exactly. Stay consistent,
Yeah.
persistent, keep that drive,
Exactly.
perseverance.
Exactly.
Can we talk about the celebrity hosts though? Because they kind of like had their own thing going on
Yeah.
within the show. So who was like the easiest host to get along with? Who's the most difficult? Who was the hardest on the artist there? Your opinion?
For the four,
Yeah, for the four.
I would have to say, I mean, I've always been a Fergie fan. So Fergie, I feel like, was the easiest to talk to, and she was super positive, and like, she's a LA girl, so I've always looked up to her, um, as a creator and as an artist. And she's like super relatable too, so she was easy to talk to, like I said. But we had a little bit like of time with the judges and stuff, but really we didn't spend a lot of time with them. Like, the time that you saw us spending with them, you saw it, like, so we didn't.
It was all televised.
Yeah, it was all televised. I got some really super positive words from Charlie Walk. He wasn't there at the end because of some stuff going on with them, but he gave me a lot of super positive advice, and he actually was one of the ones that did the research on the contestants. And so he like literally came up to me when I first met him and was like, "Oh, like, I love this whole campaign that you're doing," because I was like dropping music every week, and he was like, "Explain to me how that works." And like, he was like, "Yeah," he gave me some positive advice, and like, so that was really cool. Megan Trainor was super cool too. Diddy was cool. Um, Khaled was cool, but like I said, we didn't really spend a lot of time with them. So I can't really like give too much insight on them, but um, they all like they all had a hand in choosing the four that started, and I really do appreciate that they saw something in me. So that's super cool. Those are all like,
I mean, obviously the world seen it because
yeah.
the audience was judging and like voted yes every time when you were when you were battling. What was it like, battling in a stadium another artist and winning? How was that? What was that feeling like?
Oh man, it was super cool. For the singers, like, they did covers,
Mm-hmm.
which is really dope. But as a rapper, especially for the first season, they couldn't clear a lot of music,
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of left us in like this little zone of like being of like what we could actually do, because we had to actually write our own lyrics and stuff. We couldn't do covers.
On the
So
spot?
no,
real
we
time?
had basically like a 2 days. Like, we had different options, but then like if it wasn't cleared by the time shoot day, like they would switch our songs last minute, or like, and that's just like show business. But it was a lot of pressure to like do and be a part of it, but it was amazing experience, because like I said, it made me go hard, and it made me challenge myself, and I love that shit.
Yo, shout out Lex, man. That's just amazing. That's
Thanks.
super dope. I mean, you spoke on singers and artists. You battled like towards the end. You battled a singer, and that's who you lost by. Of course, she was an amazing singer. I'm not
She's a
gonna lie.
great
Of course,
singer.
for you to
Great
lose,
artist.
the artist had to be like over the top
Yeah.
amazing. Probably was like twice the age as you as well. Like she had some years on you, like experience.
Oh yeah, she's like a very talented singer. So yeah, that challenge, it was super difficult for me, just because like, of course, you're on a show, you want to like make it all the way to the end. So but like I said, there's a lot of pressure behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that are changing last minute, and I was thrown a bad card, and I made the best of it, and I think you know, like I said, I fully enjoyed my time on that shit. But yeah, it was really stressful. It's really stressful, and then you're like getting in front of all these people and the world, and you're like, take me for who I am, and it's not that easy. So shout
Facts.
out anybody like that goes on these shows. Like I never knew it was like
Was
that.
it
Like
was it real?
yeah, it was.
Was it real? Was those stadiums really sold out? Like,
Well, no, I mean it was like they had it was in like they had like a sound stage, and they had people come in and they were switching people in and out. So it wasn't like full stadiums. We didn't do like crazy big venues. It was just like the sound stage. So
yo, that's amazing. And you were actually, I mean, it's television. We wanted to know was it real or not because a lot of shows like Love and Hip Hop and a lot of other shows that are
oh yeah.
televised, you're thinking like, man, this is maybe all televised, but you even spoke on the judges actually doing the research on the artists, and
Mhm.
these are real artists in real time, really
Mhm.
campaigning, really grinding it out to get to the next level in their career. And you were one of them that I can witness and vouch for. Like she's in the city, she's in LA going crazy right now. I mean, what projects, music projects you got coming up? What we got to look out for?
Currently wrapping up a project right now. I'm gonna be dropping first single next month. It's untitled right now, so I'm gonna just wait till I have the actual name and finish it up before I'm out here trying to like promote something. I'm like pushing myself to do stuff that I'm not ready for. But I've got a project that I'm working on right now, and I've been working on a lot of music all year. I've been writing for a lot of artists this year. It was like one of the best years that I've had in my writing career. And like for a lot of this year, I took this year off to create, like, and create a sound and create a vibe that I wanted. And I think I'm at that point now, you know, to like push the new sound that I've been creating. It's
Yeah.
fun.
And we can't wait to hear it. I mean, you even
Yay!
performed a couple songs with us here on the Leo Black Show.
Yeah,
It was amazing. Can't wait to hear what's next.
yeah.
So, Lex, I appreciate you for being on the show. You were so dope. Is there anything that you want to speak about? Give you the platform to talk about anything?
You can follow me on Instagram at Lex Lu Official. You can follow me on Twitter at Lex Lu Official. You could follow all my work. Check out my music at lexluofficial.com. Yeah, we out here. Like, can I ask you a few questions?
Facts. Let's do it.
So, tell me everything that you do. You do like you do a lot of things, correct?
I'll do a few
Like
different
you do,
things.
like what do you do when like you do music, right? You're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You're a host, obviously.
Facts.
You have a clothing line, don't you?
Facts.
Okay, and then what else are we doing? What else are we working with there?
Well, basically, I just like to call myself a creator. You know, I'm a content creator. No matter if it's something that's tangible, like clothes, merch, things like that, or it's a show, content, television, music. I'm just creating at all times, and I create to inspire.
You know, I was watching a couple of his other interviews with people, and I had to like get my